And we've got Mr. H.D. Kunteta, who is our Finance Director at Rural Electrification Corporation, joining us on the show from Delhi. To begin with, Mr. Kunteta, your company has announced that it will raise something like 3,000 crores through an issue of tax-free bonds. Could you give us more details on, issues like the tenor, the coupon rate, the target investors, and also how you're going to use this money?
The issue will be opened on 6 March for the total amount of 3,000 crore rupees, and the tenor is 10 years with the interest rate of 7.93% for the category of high net worth individuals and QIB. And for retails, the interest rate will be 8.13%, and another will be for a tenor of 15 years, where the interest rate will be 8.12% for high net worth individuals and QIB, and for retail the interest rate will be 8.32%. And as far as the reserve portion is concerned, for retail it is reserved for 25%, and QIB 50%, high net worth 25%, and it will be used for disbursement towards our loan sanction to the developers and the DISCOMs.
Mr. Kunteta, wanted to know what your fundraising plans are for the future, and what would be the source at which you would raise these funds, if at all you're looking to?
For the current year, our program is to raise around 28 to 30,000 crore rupees, out of which 24,500 crore have been raised, and balance will be raised through tax-free bonds and the $150 million yen issue. And for next year, the borrowing may be around 32,000 to 34,000 crore rupees, and this will be raised through tax-free bonds if approved in the forthcoming budget, then taxable bonds, international borrowing, and if the FCCB is approved by the cabinet, then $1 billion issue will come through FCCB, and then loans from the banks and financial institutions. So in last 2 years we have not faced any difficulty in raising the resources. Current year we are raising around 30,000 crore, 28 to 30,000 crore rupees. Last year we have raised 25 to 26,000 crore rupees, and next year we are planning to raise 32 to 34, depending on the disbursement growth, which we feel that it may be around 15 to 20%, looking to the outstanding loans book, sanction loan book.
Right, and Mr. Kunteta, your capital adequacy at present stands at about 17.4%. Tell us what the CRAR is expected to look like going forward.
Actually, 17% is the tier 1, whereas as per the RBI norms, the 10% is to be through tier 1 and 5% through tier 2. And since our entire capital adequacy is through tier 1, so we have the sufficient margins. And in case of need, then we can raise the money through perpetual bonds like that. And further we are likely to come out, if the cabinet approves, then $1 billion FCCB. So in case it is converted within a period of 5 years, then it will further increase our capital adequacy, and we are not required to raise the money in the market.
You have been able to maintain fairly stable margins, so what's the margin trajectory that you're expecting for FY13? And there are also lots of expectations this time around of interest rate cuts. How do you see that playing out on your margins?
We are hopeful to sustain the net interest margins at around 425 basic points, which is still best compared to the banking sector or non-banking financials, whether it's a domestic or international, institutional fund or banks.
Right, and Mr. Kunteta, what are your expectations for the power sector from the budget?
The government is likely to create the National Electricity Fund, where the interest subsidy will be provided to the states. If they are able to reduce the losses to the level of 15%, their accounts are being finalized within 6 months from the date of the closure of the years. Their tariff is fixed before the beginning of the year for the next year, and number of steps are being stipulated in the policy. So that policy announcement may come in the budget, and that will be very positive for the DISCOM, as it will meet the gap between the revenue inflow or revenue outflow because of the reduced interest burden, as the subsidy may be in the range of around 4% to 5%. So that will be the big boost to the power sector. And as far as the other measures are concerned, that will be only known after the announcement, after the budget speech to be presented on 16th of March.